I just want to say this while it's still fresh on my mind. Earlier today, I was commenting on a friend's post, a bit of a political back and forth, and was trying to point out how the American populace and humanity in general is not nearly as polarized. People's opinions are not as black and white as the highly polarizing and extremely biased uh, big tech and mainstream media oligarchs want us to think. Rather, there's a diversity of opinions both among Republicans and Democrats, um, but the loudest voices do tend to get heard and get all the notoriety, and the media and big tech tend to like those loudest voices on one of those particular sides. But again, the populace, the overarching norm on both the Democrat Party, or not the party leaders, but the voters, and Republican voters, you have a far greater diversity of opinion on both sides. Today, this was reflected. Couldn't have been reflected more perfectly. And one of my passengers, without a doubt, the strictest of COVID precautions that I have seen all year. Not only does she desanitize, but she puts like a sanitation mat, looks akin to a pet's urine mat, and then she proceeded to sit on that after resanitizing her hands. But I noticed while they were talking to me that she was holding her mask, like it was on one of her ears, but all of this was exposed. So it's just like she's holding it out while she's talking to me. And I didn't want to like directly tell her, put on your mask, or even, I don't know. I'm not a super confrontational person in person. So I was like, I asked her, do you have some sort of a breathing difficulty? Because we can work around your breathing difficulty if that's the issue with you wearing a mask. And she was like, oh, no, um, it's because I'm wearing four masks. But she wasn't wearing any mask. It was like hanging off. Well, kind of like partially, but most of her mouth was showing. Clear enough to be visible to me from through the rear view mirror. So she's like, she quickly puts it back on. So that's why it was hanging off. She says because she's wearing four. Well, if the wearing four makes you not wear it, then you're not even wearing four. Isn't it better to at least wear one if you're not even going to be wearing it because you're wearing four? But then she goes on and on, like most of the ride, she's talking about her precautions and how serious she takes it and how serious everybody needs to take it. But she keeps seeing that nobody's taking it seriously. But even in her house, she wears four masks. And she's talking about like how I think she said that the coronavirus is around 10,000 times smaller than a strand of hair or something like that. So that's why wearing just one mask, it's almost like you're not wearing any mask. That's why you need to wear more masks, says the current Dr. Fauci, the same one who told us originally not to wear any masks. I, a conservative Trump supporter, no, that doesn't mean I support or agree with everything he ever said or endorsed. But yes, I, a Trump supporter and a conservative, was wearing a mask, covering myself even with a scarf because we weren't supposed to be buying masks at first. When Dr. Fauci was saying not to, people forget this stuff. But anyway, now he's saying wear more masks. I wanted to point out, as I was mentioning at the beginning of this video, that the strictest adherent that I have seen to COVID precautions I can guess how she votes, but the objective reality is I don't know how she voted or votes, but she still broke the stereotype because she, after her long story about COVID precautions and how they're so neglected, she then goes on to share her faith with me and try to convince me to believe or accept Jesus into my heart, and was telling me how certain that she is that Jesus is coming back within the next few years, certainly according to her studies, by 2024. And I told her quite sincerely that that would be awesome. And I would be the most elated person if that happened and I saw Jesus descending out of the clouds. But of course, well, I meant it sincerely. I wasn't joking. But of course, for those who may be scratching their heads now, who followed me for a while, that's because although I'm not expecting it, if that were to happen, I think it would be the historical Jesus, who is quite different theologically than many presume. But that's a whole different bag of beans. Anyhow, yeah, just your daily reminder that people do not fit neatly into the little boxes and categories that we like to place them in. That's it. You guys have a good night. Yalla bye.